Hi and welcome to this month's Thoughts on Leadership. This month it's called Pick a Lane. Have you ever been on the highway there when somebody's in front of you, maybe they're in this lane and then they're in that lane and they seem to not be able to pick which lane they want to be in? Life can be a bit like that. Sometimes we start down one route, then go down another route, and then we want to go back here. And it gets all very confusing, and the end result is you get nothing done. There are people that you look at that seem to be able to do a number of things at once. Take, for instance, Richard Branson in the Virgin Group. Yes, he seems to have this business, and this, a number of businesses there that he's operating in, and he seems to be able to do all of them. But does he really? He really has people in those businesses operating for him. People who try and get themselves involved in too many things, particularly when they're starting out in business or when business needs their full attention, and yet they're over here, they're over here, they're over here, and they haven't got the support around them to do that. That's like swapping and changing lanes. You're never going to be really good at anything. You're always going to be pushing around and concentrating on switching lanes instead of finding the best way to get to where you need to be. So the question I wanted to ask you this month is, are you somebody who's switching lanes? Are you constantly trying to jump from one thing to another thing to another thing? Or are you focused? There's a time when you may be able to switch things because you've got the right people in the various places, because the circumstances are right, because the business is mature enough, whatever. You can do a number of different things at once. You can juggle. But there's going to be times when it doesn't. You're going to have your attention. You're going to have to strip yourself of things that are just getting in your way, and holding you back. In other words, you could do really well in this lane, but because you're trying to go between this lane and that lane, you're being good in neither of them. So I want you to think about your life for this month. Check in with yourself. Are you trying to do too many different things in too many different lanes? Or are you somebody who's so focused in one lane that you just get piled up in the traffic because you just think, I'm going to stay in this lane and nothing moves? So there's this balance. There's a time to be in one lane and stick with it, and there's a time to be able to move across lanes. And you've got to be in control of that rather than it be in control of you. Well, that's it for this month. I hope you've had a good month. I hope you've enjoyed this session of Thoughts on Leadership. Have a great month ahead of you, and I'll see you again next month. Bye for now.